Thank you for watching this clip of Not My Bag.
Make sure to like and subscribe.
And if you're listening, give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Well, I was going to say, I've got some fan questions, but there's also, I wanted to touch on, because with the highs that you get with being in an international, you know, like well-known girl band, is also the controversial side of it as well. And there's been so much, as you've just touched on, with the Pussycat Dolls that people have questioned. So I'm going to grab up some of these questions from people.
God. I'm going to need a drink for this one.
And I'm going I mean...
I'll add, it's not really controversy, but I read this, because I remember seeing it, basically. I think it was back in maybe 2015. You might be able to correct me. And it was your performance on The X Factor.
Yeah.
And that I didn't even realise. Apparently it was a controversial performance, but I didn't realise apparently it got 400 Ofcom complaints.
Well, from the last performance on X Factor.
Yeah, you know when you performed and...
Right before
the React
COVID.
performance.
Yeah. And that was like, what did you think?
What was going on?
No, not what was going on, but did you ever sit there and be like, oh, we've actually just had 400 Ofcom complaints? Or just... Because I don't know, I feel like that was you guys. You just killed it. Do you know what I mean? But
I agree. And I guess like Pussycat Dolls is quite provocative. Like we always have been. That's kind of part of the branding
DNA
of the whole thing. But I guess when our amazing costumes are in people's faces, sometimes they get a bit like they don't know what to do with it.
I feel like it kind of goes back to what you said though, how times have changed. Like you don't really see like a girl band do that sort of stuff like ever nowadays. There isn't a girl band that would, I don't think, get on stage.
I just think you all look good. It was an insane performance.
Yeah.
Like it was bringing everyone back to the
throwback days.
We were re-educating.
Yeah. And I just feel like normally the people that are moaning are the people that are a little bit jealous, that are like, oh, like they're still good. Do you know what I mean?
Well, see, this is the thing. It's almost hard for me to answer because I'd worked for 2.5 years to get the reunion over, like
over the line.
Over the line, thank you. I'd signed the contract, and then 2 weeks later, I'd been feeling really ill, and I didn't know what was going on. And I found out that I had a surprise pregnancy. So I got on stage for that performance.
Wasn't it 2 weeks after?
7 weeks after a cesarean.
It's insane.
So literally was breastfeeding backstage, being like, feeling so vulnerable. I'm not even in my own body. My organs haven't gone back where they're supposed to be. I had a doctor on standby just in case something exploded within me. And it was like, quite dangerous.
Yeah.
And so I do this performance. I see this picture. I'm like screaming afterwards and just elation from what we just accomplished. We literally had 3 days of rehearsal. 3 days
to do that.
of rehearsal.
Wow. I mean,
and
water and everything.
Yes, babes.
3 days.
So then to walk away from a situation like that, just to people like, nah, I'm not out of this.
Yeah, that was shit.
Exactly. How dare you?
I don't even think it was that good. She almost died.
Wow.
The
fair
sacrifices I made that day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But people don't see that stuff. They turn on their CV, not CV. Bloody hell, that rose's gone to my head. Turn on their TV and they just think like, oh, just switch this on. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, just prance around those outfits. But they never see like the craft that goes behind it.
They don't. And that's
doctor
a
on
shame.
standby.
Yeah.
That's mental.
Yeah.
Absolutely mental.
But people they judge what you don't understand. And I think that ultimately, we are the base of the Pussycat Dolls is dance. And dance is tight costumes so that you can move and do your thing. And as women, you do have cleavage and certain things. And why not show it? It's part of the show. And unfortunately,
I definitely wasn't complaining. When I watched the performance, I'm not going to lie.
He weren't complaining.
I was actually messaging Ofcom going, more of this, please. I'm joking.
It's George Bags. Ignore the complaint.
I say yes.
Oh my God.
Thanks. I like that.
Well, one of the questions that I had so much was, so this went viral on TikTok. It goes viral all the time, I find, this clip. It's, the thing where Melody comes out from like, I don't know if she comes out from backstage and she's like, like that. And it's just like a lot. And like, you can see Nicole's like, is that whole story true? Like, was she locked in a closet backstage? Did she break out of the closet to come? Like, I was so confused about what happened.
Okay, so here's the story. We were on tour. We had to fly back from, I don't remember where we were, I think Europe, to the States to do the AMAs. This was the American Music Awards.
Yeah.
We flew back. had one night of rehearsal and then did this performance. When we got to the airport from our tour buses, Melody realized that her passport was still on the tour bus. Tour bus was on a ferry in the middle of the ocean on the way to the next gig. So there was no way to go get the passport. So we had to leave Mel while she waited for something to be figured out to get her passport and came later.
Right.
So she missed the one night of rehearsals,
Okay, fine.
showed up literally 2 hours before the performance.
Right, okay.
And she didn't want to miss the whole thing.
Yeah.
So she came out for a nice big riff at the end to let people know she was still there.
Yeah. And boy, did she. Boy, did she.
There was no closet. She was not locked up.
Because all I pictured in my head was Nicole Scherzinger being like, yeah, stay in here with a little key. She's like, you're not going. Like, it was painted out to me so dramatic, and I still to this day like find it the funniest thing. I was actually watching it on the way here, and I was like, no, this is so jokes.
I have seen some of the memes, and they do make me laugh. I will say they do. But you know, Mel's got bad boy vocals, and that girl wants to show them. And there was some times where she was just so frustrated the fact she joined so that she could show that part of her.
I did see that in interviews that she said that her biggest asset was her voice, not really dancing, and she wasn't able to showcase that. Which kind of brings me to the question, because there's so much around Nicole being the front runner and how much was put onto, you know, like her vocals. I know that you were recording, I don't know whether this is true actually, I saw this in the papers, that you were recording for new music, you had React. Was there or is there going to be an opportunity for the girls to show their voice, or is that now like not a thing? I was just wondering.
I mean, one can hope. I mean, we were set to go on a world tour before COVID. We'd sold out the UK. Like, it was going really well.
Yeah.
It gave me those 2 years of being locked up, of being like, no, we've got a world tour after this. Like, I was so excited. Brazil, we've got so many amazing fans. We're finally going to South America, going to see our Brazilian fans, going to pretty much every country from there. And then there was just a lot of business dealings going on between sort of the head of the brand, Robin, and Nicole, and it's still continuing. So it all got canceled. I cried my eyes out, and I don't know what's going to happen next.
I bet. So is the newspaper story true? Not me. I just love a paper, don't I, George? We get it every Sunday. I'm sat there. I'm like, bloody flick through this. Because the streets say that Nicole just cancelled and didn't tell you. Is that what happened?
Well, Live Nation ultimately canceled the dates.
Right.
I don't know the
ins and
outs of it all, but the way it was all communicated wasn't very kind or nice to most of us in the group. I remember I was doing Dancing on Ice at the time, and we were just starting the live shows. And I just got this tweet like, your tour is canceled from a fan. I was like, what? Really? I was devastated.
That's the worst way to find out as well, isn't it?
Worst way. And I've been doing like Instagram and TikTok lives throughout all of COVID, teaching choreography for all the doll songs. Like, guys, we're going on tour. I can't wait. Like,
I just bet you were gutted.
Gutted.
Well, I mean, fingers crossed. We're all touching wood.
Hopefully there's light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like something's going to happen. I just don't know what, how, where, when, who. But I
No,
guess
I know what you mean.
TBC,
tickets.
dot.
Me and my friend Ella had tickets. I know we had tickets. I was very ready. I was probably as gutted. As gutted as you were. Me making it main character. I was as gutted as you were. The actual Pussycat doll. Me, like, I was gutted too.
Every time a date they were supposed to be on stage would go by as we're in COVID, I'd be like, it goes another one. We were even booked for Glastonbury.
Oh, that's insane. The biggest. Why not?
I could be done after that, you know? And that date came and went. I was like, oh my God.
Well, fingers crossed. It was such a shit time for so many people,
It
wasn't
was.
it? There was good stuff coming out of it, bad stuff. I just think, who knows what's going to happen, as you said, but fingers crossed. I mean, from my side, dig out the old merch, get going.
You know.